U.S. Air Force officials investigate claims of secret Navy space program. This is part one of a three-part series. Officials from a highly classified U.S. Air Force space program that operates a space surveillance system around the Earth are seriously investigating whistleblower claims, especially those stating that the U.S. Navy has secretly developed a parallel space program with kilometers-long craft belonging to 8 battle groups capable of deep space operations. According to Secret Space Program whistleblower Corey Goode, a senior official from the Air Force program, who he calls Sigmund, has been conducting information exchanges with Goode to learn about the alleged Navy space program and rumors of it cooperating with Nordic and other extraterrestrial groups. Previously, Goode reported that he first encountered Sigmund in a series of military abductions that began in January 2016 when a triangular-shaped anti-gravity spacecraft landed near his Texas home and 2 Air Force personnel from the vehicle forcibly took him into the craft. Goode was subsequently interrogated and chemicals were injected into him to force him to reveal the source of his information. After publicly emerging in March 2015, Goode's claims had come to the attention of a highly classified Air Force space program which closely cooperates with other U.S. military entities such as the National Reconnaissance Office, the National Security Agency, and the Defense Intelligence Agency. Goode calls this interagency collaboration the Military-Industrial Complex Secret Space Program, MIC-SSP. The MIC-SSP is entirely separate to a more advanced Navy space program known as Solar Warden, which Goode says he served in during a 20-year-and-back tour of duty from 1987 to 2007. In previous reports, Goode has discussed at length the activities of Solar Warden and its interactions with visiting extraterrestrial civilizations. During the initial abductions, Sigmund was trying to ascertain the source of Goode's information, which had revealed highly classified information about the MIC-SSP. In earlier reports, Goode also described how Sigmund and his subordinates chemically forced Goode to out several operatives working for the Solar Warden program. The nature of Sigmund's interrogation of Goode began to significantly change when Sigmund determined that Goode's information was, at least in part, accurate, and that he was not part of a disinformation program belonging to a rogue element of the MIC-SSP. Sigmund subsequently began an information exchange with Goode that first occurred in meetings during the latter part of 2016. Goode was given information about Antarctica and the intense power struggle within the U.S. national security system involving the 2016 presidential election. Goode wrote a report about one of these information exchanges that was published on December 11, 2016. On March 16, Goode gave me a detailed 4-hour briefing about his ongoing meetings with Sigmund and/or his 2 subordinates from the MIC secret space program, which occur on a regular basis to the present day. The information provided by Goode was originally going to be released in Endgame 3 and was passed on to me in order to get the information out. The scope of the information revealed by Goode is breathtaking in its national security implications for the US and the rest of the planet. Consequently, this summary will be the first in a series of articles describing the information Goode has acquired through his information exchanges with Sigmund and/or his subordinates, and the latest activities participated in by Goode. The overall context for the information exchanges, according to Goode, was Sigmund's anger over the fact that his MIC-SSP was out of the loop concerning activities in deep space involving extraterrestrial life and technology. The possible existence of a more powerful Navy program operating in deep space with technologies far more advanced than anything possessed by the MIC-SSP was of particular concern to Sigmund. Sigmund's MIC secret space program is primarily confined to near-Earth operations, 500 miles out of altitude, utilizing at least 2 operational space stations capable of hosting several hundred personnel and several squadrons of TR-3Bs that service the stations. This is consistent with the briefing President Ronald Reagan received in 1985 and later published in the Reagan Diaries, where he was told that the US has the capacity to place 300 astronauts in space. Quote, lunch with 5 top space scientists. It was fascinating. Space truly is the last frontier, and some of the developments there in astronomy, etc., are like science fiction, except they are real. I learned that our shuttle capacity is such that we could orbit 300 people. End quote. Reagan had been briefed about the military-industrial complex secret space program and was greatly impressed by its capabilities. In addition, Goode says that the MIC SSP maintains small bases on the Moon and Mars, but these are secondary in relationship to its primary mission of near-Earth surveillance and operations. Goode says that Sigmund and MIC SSP personnel were all told that they were the tip of the spear when it came to the deployment of advanced military technologies in space, but had now learned that they were just the effing Coast Guard. Sigmund's fury over lies told to him and other MIC SSP personnel led to angry confrontations with his superiors. This further resulted in Sigmund initiating a serious investigation into Goode's claims, along with those more recently provided by William Tompkins through interviews and his book, Selected by Extraterrestrials, which specifically details the US Navy space program and its cooperation with Nordic extraterrestrials. Significantly, according to Goode, Sigmund is now conducting a similar type investigation to my own recently completed one done for my March 2017 book, The US Navy's Secret Space Program and Nordic Extraterrestrial Alliance. Sigmund's investigation also involves historical document searches along with interviewing Navy personnel that have potential knowledge of a Navy space program that was secretly constructed in parallel with the creation of the MIC SSP. After eliminating a number of possible sources for Goode's impressive body of information, Sigmund has now reached the conclusion that there are 2 remaining explanations for what Goode reveals. The first is that a visiting group of Nordic extraterrestrials known to the MIC secret space program is manipulating Goode through mind control and feeding him accurate information for an unknown agenda. The second is that Goode is genuinely associated with a Navy-run secret space program, which is part of a secret space program alliance, and he is also working with a visiting group of extraterrestrials called the Sphere Being Alliance. Sigmund began his information exchanges with Goode in part to further investigate Goode's claims, thus helping to determine which of the 2 explanations would prove to be more accurate. Sigmund has also been concerned that plans for limited disclosure of the MIC SSP would only reveal part of the truth about secret space activities involving lesser classified compartments of the US military, and that the truth needed to be determined and exposed in order to maintain morale in the various programs. Was the MIC SSP the, quote, tip of the spear, end quote, as they had been told, or, quote, the effing Coast Guard, end quote, as Sigmund now feared. This becomes especially relevant to Tom DeLonge's Secret Machines initiative that began in early 2016 as an effort backed by 10 senior military and corporate officials. In late 2016, WikiLeaks released emails that confirmed DeLonge's claims and outed 2 of the 10 officials involved in his initiative. DeLonge and his advisory group genuinely believe that their disclosure of a US Air Force-run secret space program comprising anti-gravity TR-3B vehicles will usher in a new age of space exploration. These TR-3B squadrons operate out of Area 51, classified spaceports on the island of Diego Garcia, and a secret location in Antarctica, which according to Sigmund is also a major research and development facility. In a March 20 post on his Facebook page, Goode explained more about this Antarctica base. Quote, some of the military and corporate, Lockheed, etc., R&D facilities are bases that are very similar but much larger than Camp Freedom that was built in Iceland in the 50s under Project Iceworm. The spaceport is an expanded former Nazi installation. The Nazis have had several bases built around the southeast and eastern regions of Antarctica. The reason Sigmund brought it all up is because I used the video of Project Iceworm in my CLE presentation. Lots more going on in Antarctica that is not related to the ancient ruins. The development and testing of weapons platforms is forbidden under the international treaties of Antarctica. Also to be noted, many of the early bases on the Moon and Mars have been built in a similar manner. Corey Goode. End quote. There has been widespread support among US Air Force and corporate officials for DeLong's efforts. That is no longer the case, according to Goode. Sigmund now believes that efforts like DeLong's are only a form of, quote, limited disclosure, end quote, which would indefinitely perpetuate an information gap between the MIC SSP and the Solar Warden Secret Space Program alliance. Consequently, the once uniform US Air Force support for DeLong's disclosure initiative is losing support. Essentially, the MIC SSP wants to get to the bottom of it all before anything about the MIC SSP is released to the public. Goode says that Sigmund has been organizing meetings where he has provided briefings for select VIPs from the aerospace community. Leading engineers, scientists, industrialists, and others have listened to Goode's information to see if any of it rings true for them. The meetings have been arranged by Sigmund, and his subordinates would facilitate Goode's travel when necessary and provide the security. Goode says that he has now given a series of briefings to 28 VIPs at similar secret meetings with between 1 to 8 participants. One of these meetings involved 3 people attending a conference being held at a hotel where Goode was staying in late January 2017. I stayed at the same hotel at the time, and Goode gave me a briefing about his visit to Antarctica in early January, which I then published on exopolitics.org. The conference was the Human Spaceflight Exploration Forum organized by Special Aerospace Services. Goode says that during his briefing presentation to the 3 VIPs who were forum participants, one of the attendees got up and left in disbelief over such a secret space program existing. The remaining 2 VIPs stayed to the end of the briefing, but their bemused expressions suggested that they didn't believe a word of what Goode was saying. Goode says that in all briefings he has given, one or more of the participants have similarly stood up and left in disbelief, while the remaining VIPs largely maintained quizzical expressions. Consequently, Sigmund has recently paused the VIP briefing sessions since they have not had either the desired effect of informing the VIPs about a possible Navy space program, nor have they uncovered any further information that could help Sigmund in his investigation. During our March 16 conversation, I pointed out to Goode the irony of his situation. The very same thing had happened to William Tompkins during World War II when he was tasked to deliver briefing packets containing information about a Nazi flying saucer program that used anti-gravity technologies, and that the Nazi program was aided by a reptilian extraterrestrial race. Tompkins said that on many occasions when he delivered his briefing packets from Naval Air Station San Diego to the different aircraft company experimental test facilities, think tanks, and university departments, the lead scientists and engineers would dismiss the information as impossible. According to Tompkins, he had to constantly battle the closed-minded skepticism of those who had been trained to accept conventional scientific laws as inviolable. Despite the VIP sessions coming to an end, Goode says that his meetings with Sigmund and or his subordinates continue to the present day. In these meetings, Goode has received significant information about the Trump presidential administration and official events to disclose the truth about suppressed technologies. This is evidenced by a secret memorandum issued by Trump soon after taking office on January 20, 2017 to declassify secret patents involving health and free energy technologies. This has been part 1 of a 3-part series. Many thanks to Corey Goode for his corrections and suggestions to an earlier version of this article, and for permission to use images which were created by a team of artists working with the Sphere Being Alliance and Cosmic Disclosure. This has been Michael Sala with ExoNews TV.